Right, okay then, how's everyone doing? We are now up to issue number 59 of Stormbringer. I'm really, we're really pushing now towards the end. I definitely feel that, though, that from this point onwards, we're just getting lots of big models. So, this Gunstruck Thunderers of issue number 59 is one of the few units that we're going to have left. I know there's a couple of other units coming and a few characters, but we're getting into the really big kits now. So it's going to be fun to look at a bit later on. I'm going to start then with issue number 59. Straight on the front here, looks like that artwork looks very of Chaos Warrior. I would even probably guess Snitch, based upon the kind of the general look of it. Plus, I believe they're very big on fighting the Caradrons. So, Grundstock Thunderers are the models that we're getting this time. Let's have a look what else we've got here. Got a bit more on the Realm of Light, Hish, where the Lumineth Realm Lords dwell. What else do we have here? So we've got Fate of Chaos Worshippers, so Perils of the Warp. Let's see what else we've got. So a couple of little bits of lore building on, areas that we've already covered. The Perils of the Warp and the Realm of Light. I do like a bit of lore. I think it's very important to develop an affinity, basically, for the game that you're playing. It's how it draws you in and makes you want to paint and put miniatures on the table. There's no other way to put it, really. Then we've got our description of the Grundstock Thunderers. Do you know what? There was a beautiful piece of artwork for the White Dwarf the other month, with Grumbrindle, the White Dwarf, on the front. Beautiful traditional painting of him. But then at the background you had a Thunderer and a Slayer. So I think that was a beautiful piece of artwork. And I think on top of that, to see Age of Sigmar miniatures done in more traditional artwork, mainly I think it was on a canvas, the actual artwork, is a very beautiful thing. You don't, as I understand it, a huge amount of art that gets done for Warhammer now, this is how I've heard it described, is all done digitally. So to have a real canvas, whoever bought that, and the guy must have, I'm hoping the guy made a lot of money for painting it, because it looked beautiful. Have a look at it. Look for the White Dwarf issue with Grombrindle at the front, the White Dwarf, and it's beautiful. Okay, so we've got our Thunderers here. Again, you're expecting this by now with the Caladrons. They are artillery ranged dwarfs. For someone like myself who used to have a Dawi army, at one point entirely, I actually managed to get a huge portion of my army as Thunderers. It basically meant that I had an entire ranged army. So it was Thunderers, crossbowmen, crossbow dwarfs even, cannons and organs and flame cannons and gyrocopters. And it was devastating when I used to take it. I think fully done up, it was about 2,000 points worth of ranged dwarfs. Now, since dwarfs are not a running, charging in army, and you're forcing people to come to you, it could be completely and utterly devastating on a short battlefield. Yeah, it was always so much fun doing that. The only time that I ever had major problems is if I was facing a high elf army and it was a longer table, so if it was a bit wider than the range I could shoot from. Anyway, so I look, ranged dwarfs are pretty devastating, to say the least. Of course, we've got our obligatory how to build. Now, we might have, there's a couple of head options by the look of it, so it's not huge amounts of options within them. see, we've got Thunderers, we've got specialised weapons like the Mortar, the Deck Sweeper, which I really like the look of. So I'm trying to see, yeah, it's kind of there on the front cover. And it's basically like a handheld organ cannon. So if you ever had an organ cannon for the dwarves, they've basically got an interesting little handheld version of it with the Deck Sweeper. How many are in this? I think there's just is there 5 or 10 in the pack? It's always worth checking. I think it's 5. And then got our how to paint, which, you know, sometimes those how to paint guides come across, you know, bring some really useful techniques. We've got a full data sheet for them, War Scroll tutorial, and then we have our battle plan forged in war. So running the gauntlet, I'm just having a look here. Yeah, so we've got that common kind of like selecting detachment style thing. For those of you though, this is one of these things, there's a new version of Age of Sigmar, so a new edition's come out. I'll be interested to see if the rules that have actually come across in Stormbringer are actually matching the new rule set coming across in I think 3rd or 4th edition we're up to now. So there's quite a bit of difference, you see. Now we've also got saying we've got a new battle map coming. Hang on, is it that the battle map that we got previously? I think that's the battle map we got previously. That it's just sort of suggesting it. They're going to start using it from issue 61. Now you can see there on the image coming up, you've got those beautiful big dragons that the Stormcast use. So they're going to be a lot of fun when I finally get them on the table. And coming up, the next 2 issues are those beautiful Gargants. Right, so let's have a quick look at the models then. So, yeah, so there's 5 of them in total, and you know they're what we are kind of expecting now from the Caradron Overlords. The cool flight suits that they actually wear, the weapons that are, you know, you've got the standard Thunderer guns, but then you've got some more exotic weaponry by the look of it. In fact, I'm looking at that alternative weaponry here. It does look like, just on this sprue here, 1, 2, you know, alternative weapons. Over on this one, you've got that Deck Sweeper, but it also looks like you get some other ones by the look of it. So I think with these, you've got the ability to build them as both the regular Thunderers, plus it looks like you've got a nice selection of exotic and unusual weaponry to put on them. Basically, if you've managed to get 2 of these, you've got yourself a nice collection of, you know, specialised weapons within the squad. So I like the look of that. I do also really do love the flight suits. They intrigue me the way that they look. They are both sort of, you know, advanced technology by Age of Sigmar standards, and yet at the same time they kind of hark back to the first flight suits that were designed with heavy leathers, but also they do kind of also remind me of to a tiny bit of an extent like early submersible gear, but of course, you know, like done up and made you know, more dwarven. There's no other way to put it. So that's our collection coming along now for our Durladin, our Caradron Overlords. I think, do we only have really one more Caradron thing to go? I think that's a I can't remember what it's called, but it's coming up in the next few issues. So I think again the Caradrons are going to be finished quite soon. Okay, so that's issue 59. It's got, you know, a nice little bit of lore in it, and the models I really like. I wish there was 10 instead of just 5, but you know, can't get everything we want all the time, can we? Right, there we go then. So that's it. That's issue number 59. I'm gonna get ready to do the next video on issue 60.